Welcome to the Business Boys Talkin-Business Virtual Power Lunch. Please welcome your hosts, Tyler Price and Brian Magleby.
All right. Thumbs up, right?
That's right. We got it right for the first time in quite a while.
I usually do the peace sign, but
That's right. I'm Brian Magleby with the Idaho Innovation Center.
And I'm Tyler Price with the Small Business Development Center.
And welcome to Talkin-Business. Tuesday, the 22nd.
Is that what it is?
Something like 21st, 22nd,
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. So of June. So we're getting into the heat of the summer. Yeah, I'm going to start shedding these long sleeve shirts probably.
It is getting there. It feels good. The snow's gone, right?
The snow is gone.
Hey, so last week we had Tad Jenkins.
Tad?
And
quite the entrepreneur here in Eastern Idaho, 2 locations. He's in probably going to have some more, you know. We shouldn't say anything, but yeah, there might be some work, something in the works. So absolutely great, inspiring entrepreneur, how he took over the business and has acquired multiple dealerships here in the area. So great. It was good to have Tad on here.
Yeah. You're looking for a vehicle. Those guys will take care of you and be great about doing it.
Yep. Blackfoot has the Ford dealership, and then Rigby has the Chevy dealership. So absolutely great to have Tad on the show. And we've got a great show for next week. We had a guest, but they aren't able to make it, so we actually found a new guy in wow.
Yeah, the new guy, Marco.
Yeah. I was going to hold off on the name till the end of the show, but Marco, and everyone has heard of Mama Flaw that's coming. It's a new Italian restaurant coming here just by the river, and absolutely going to be. They're already selling out every week of food
at the farmers market.
Farmers market.
Yep. But hey, today, let's talk about our sponsors, right?
Let's get our sponsors, get our due diligence done here. BBSI.
Yeah, those guys, if you have any sort of HR needs or coaching needs or payroll needs, whatever it is, BBSI is such a great resource, just run by Jeremy Hicks and that group. Those guys are great guys and ladies that are doing great things there.
Yep, and we're actually going to have them on our show next month because they've got some new things that they're coming around to really kind of one of the big challenges that a lot of businesses are having now is hiring, and they've got some great insight and some things that they're going to be. We're going to have them on the show again next month because they've got some great insight because there's so many businesses. If you just drive down any street, you'll see now hiring signs left
everywhere.
And right.
Yeah, we run into that as well as in our business. But
hey,
Volpine Marketing, Ryan Jost, I mean, that guy knows what he's doing. Just
keeps us updated on our website. Absolutely phenomenal. Andex, what the production that they do here. They make us look like rock stars here.
Yeah, that's pretty good for 2 fat old guys.
That's right. And of course, the Idaho Innovation Center and the Small Business Development Center. Underutilized is what you say.
Best kept secret.
Best kept secret in Idaho. If you want to have some business consulting, you need to contact the SBDC, and I'll tell you that you won't pay a lot for the coaching that you'll get there, but I guarantee that we'll lead you in some right direction.
That's right. So very good.
Absolutely, we're excited for today's show. I've been trying to get this guy on the show for quite a few months, and this guy is, let me just set it up this way. That when we announced last week that we were going to have Jason COOMBS on the show today, I started receiving texts and phone calls about how this guy has changed their life.
Yeah, that's amazing. Right?
And his book is absolutely, I've had multiple phone calls in the last few days saying, can I please meet with him because he changed my life? And that's the kind of business that Jason's in. He owns Brick House Recovery. He has a location in Boise and here in Idaho Falls. And absolutely an inspiring business owner. He's a triathlete. We'll have fun talking about that. We're going to talking about his book that he's authored. It's on the Amazon top list. We'll talk a little bit more about that. In fact, we're going to give away a copy of his book at the end of the show. And I'm really positive that there's going to be a lot of people wanting that because I bought the book a couple weeks ago, but I haven't got into it. But I can tell you that I am looking forward to it after the people that have called me and said, wow, that book changed my life.
That's great. That's what we really, I think a lot of people hope that they can be impactful, and that's great that Jason's doing that.
It is. And talking about recovery and some ways to help the people out there, we know that the COVID's affected that. And so we're going to watch a quick 1-minute video here talking about brick house recovery, and then we'll welcome Jason to the show. Come on in.
Well, great.
Welcome, Jason. Did you say COOMBS? COOMBS?
COOMBS.
All right. I knew I'd probably slaughter that. So Jason COOMBS to Talkin-Business here. And we got him here. He's in town for a few days. He's been on vacation. Got even some sun, looks like there.
Looking good. He's looking good.
Looking good. So he's been on vacation at Redfish Lake, and we caught him over here in town. So Jason, tell us about the business that we watched a little video there. Hopefully they had sound on there.
Yeah.
We didn't hear, but I've heard it a few times. But tell us about Brick House Recovery.
Yeah, so Brick House Recovery. We are an outpatient, faith-based drug and alcohol treatment center. As mentioned, we have a location here in Idaho Falls, right on the green belt, across from Jakers, and then one in Boise. And in 2014, my wife and I saw a big need in the Idaho area to open up a faith-based, private, in-network, sort of a small family feel addiction recovery treatment center, and an option for families like ours. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of treatment centers available, not just here in Idaho, but there are a lot of treatment centers they could go to down in the Wasatch Front and so forth. But the issue there is with the court system mandating a lot of folks to treatment, you don't know what you're going to get in terms of the experience, and we're the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And so, I went through 5 treatment centers myself. I'm a person in long-term recovery. Just celebrated 12 years in March.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That is an accomplishment.
I had a village to help me, but one of the most important components was being in a program with people that were motivated to change like me, not necessarily all the court mandated, I just got to be here, I don't plan on changing. Yeah. Once I get done, I'm going right back to using and drinking. And those experiences that I had in treatment, I got worse when I was around those folks. And so,
did you really?
So we offer an outpatient, it's a business friendly, a work friendly program for folks that need a tune-up but aren't quite ready to go to residential treatment or are coming out of residential treatment, and we're that level of care that is really intense in the first month, and then we, over the course of 6 months, work with them to get them the self-efficacy and confidence and foundation upon which they can build.
Yeah. So what do you attribute your success to staying clean then? I mean, 12 years, that's a significant amount of time. But what is it what is your driving force now that you didn't maybe have before that's now making it so that you are, living the life that really you're qualified and destined to live?
That's such a good question, because at 31 years old, when I got sober, I was wondering what I was going to do with the rest of my career and the rest of my life, and I felt like I had a lot of time that I needed to make up for. And right out of treatment, I was a little over 70 days sober. I got a job selling hot dogs, cooking. Well, they were bratwurst. They were high end. High end. And then out in front of a Home Depot down in Salt Lake City. And I was pretty humiliated. I had gotten my bachelor's degree at the University of Utah in communications, and once had a successful career as a account manager, advertising salesperson for KSL Television, and worked at Fox 13, so on and so forth. So I had lost a lot because of my addiction to, originally it was opiates and pain pills after a car accident, and then it escalated into street drugs. And so when I was selling these hot dogs, and I was making $6 an hour as a college graduate, 31 years old, divorced, living at a halfway house, sober living house, didn't have much hope for my life, but I was on path again, and I was feeling better again, and I was surrounded by people who wanted to change. And anyway, so I'm behind the grill, and I'm sweating. It's so hot that day, and and I was having a down day, but this gentleman approached the grill and asked me, for a hot dog, and I said, "All right, what do you want?" And then he said, "How's your day going?" And I said, "Oh, great." And just like the classic addict overshare, I was like, "Oh, great. I'm 72 days sober off crack cocaine and heroin, and I just got out of rehab, and I'm living at a halfway house. I'm going to treatment tonight. I don't have enough money to get there, though." And I just blah, 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 blah. And he was like, "Whoa, I was just asking about it."
I just want to.
How are you doing today?
He's looking at me like, "What do I do with all of that?" And I got that look all the time. And still do. But definitely in early sobriety, because I didn't have a filter. The brain takes some time to heal. So, to make a long story short, the conversation began when he said, "Can I ask you a question? I have a son who is struggling with an addiction. How do I help him?" And I was in a unique position of influence at that moment, where of anyone he could have talked to in his life, the guy behind the hot dog grill had some answers. And it was in that experience that my purpose was born. It was in that experience that my drive and passion, like I can devote the rest of my life to helping the family members and their addicted loved ones find what I am finding. And when my life shifted from it wasn't so much running away from my addictions anymore. It was more about running towards this newfound passion, this new dream, I have something to offer. I've been there. I have lost everything. I've lived homeless. I've been incarcerated. I have been charged with felonies. I know what it's like to have to restart everything from the ground up. And parents are craving, family members are craving insights, like what works, what doesn't work. And so this book, and this isn't a plug for my book, but this book is really all about...
we're plugging the book. Don't hold back. You may not be plugging it, but we want to plug it.
You know what? Plug it, because at the end of the day, every single dollar that the book makes goes towards helping people in treatment. This is very much a labor of trying to offer hope to family members, but this is the insights from my mother, the insights from my father, my sister, my siblings, and my own experience, and how to influence someone the right way to walk through the stages of change to get into long-term recovery.
Wow. And it started there selling brats.
Started
In
there.
Home Depot on 21st Street? Where was it at?
It was at Brick House or Brickyard Plaza.
Brickyard Plaza. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Brickyard
Good.
Plaza.
Well, and so take us from there, from where you answered the question for that one, why he asked you that question, but to then what started the process to open up Brick House Recovery?
Well, so I went through those stages of becoming, the apprentice, and then the journeyman, and then the master, which
Yes.
Yeah.
whatever that destination is, I don't know. But what I do know is that in returning back to get my education, I got my degree in professional communications, a graduate degree, and that's where I met my wife at Westminster College. And it was in that process of writing papers, and my master's thesis became the book. And I was thinking, this is great, but I was just kind of working in treatment centers to get through school, and then I got my dream job, and it was working for a finance company.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with recovery. And so I moved out to the West Coast, and I was living and working in California, but had an experience on Huntington Beach after I had lost two dear friends of mine. One was a family member, actually, to addiction, and I was questioning what should I do with my life because I was not being fulfilled. And it just so happened that my boss had jacked up my sales quota, making it impossible to make anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was my reward for being a good salesperson.
Yeah.
And so I was just questioning, and then I had that little stroke of intelligence, that little insight of,
Where is your passion?
now it's time to get back. And I turned to my wife and said, what do you think about us quitting our jobs, packing up our truck, and moving somewhere like Idaho and opening up a treatment center?
Yeah.
And I had a dear friend, Dave Pinniger, here who was running an addiction treatment center. And he said, there is so much need in Boise, because we're getting calls all the time in Idaho Falls. So I moved to Boise, and he was here in Idaho Falls, and we worked together as dear friends. In fact, he was one of the individuals who helped me climb out of my addiction. But that's a long-winded version of how that leap to open a business. And I just rolled the dice. I had not owned any businesses before. I didn't have a business degree, but I tell you what, I have loved being an entrepreneur more than anything.
Yeah.
I love it. It's my passion. I love providing for families. I love giving people employment. I love building leaders. That's my focus now. It's not so much on helping people recover, but how do I influence the influencers? How do I take my leadership team and their teams to the top of the learning curve as they identify, develop, and share their God-given gifts within our organization? And if that's going on, our clients get everything and more that they need.
Yeah.
When our employees are satisfied and happy and they feel like they're evolving as professionals too.
So speaking of the client then, I mean, this has to be somebody that's ready for change versus court ordered, because the court order isn't going to be what tips the scale in their favor, where they're no longer doing behavior that's detrimental to them. So what do you do then? I mean, with a client that's kind of that person, that they're there, or do you deal with even clients that are court ordered? They have to be there. I mean, what do you? I guess, how do you try to inspire someone who's not quite ready to take that leap?
So everybody is motivated by pain.
Yeah.
Change comes by pain, and that usually happens from external motivators. So whether it's court, whether it's their spouse, whether it's their business, their finances,
Job.
yeah, that will be whatever that is. We welcome it, because the external motivator always evokes the internal motivation. So our question when we're screening a client is, where are you at in the stages of change, and are you interested in progressing? Because there are 3 stages before action.
Yeah.
And that's all in the book. And so that's not ready, getting ready, and now I'm ready, but I'm not taking action yet.
Yeah.
And so in that process, we get folks in any one of those stages, And we can help someone that doesn't think that they're ready if they're open-minded to considering that they have a problem. If they're open to a faith-based approach, and what that means is not a religious-based, but once you remove the alcohol and the drugs, there's this gaping void in this hole, and it's got to be filled with something. It's either going to be filled with sexual compulsivity, gambling, workaholism, overeating. But if we can fill it with the power that will actually heal the condition, then that gaping hole closes up. And that's what I experienced in my last treatment program. And that's really what we're trying to do is groom the future providers of our industry.
Yeah. No, I kind of building on something that you said, the pain, and I have a not really a mantra, but more of just a statement that pain purifies. And it's that wow, I've had enough. I'm going to now take action. And it is the true part of this purification process for people, that they face enough pain and not going into much, but I've had to deal with it on court-ordered stuff myself where that had no impact on me. I would go in and it was like me against the room. And I was just like two middle fingers up, like, no, screw you guys, I'm not doing anything. But ultimately that pain is what motivates, I guess, the people. So the people that aren't faced enough pain then, what are you trying to do with them to inspire or to help?
Oh, we just create more pain.
Yeah, just create more pain.
That is the great art of human influence, and we follow the practices of dance, don't wrestle.
Yeah.
Flow, not force. Try to validate where they're at and illuminate a path to a different destination than where they're pointed, and then let them choose.
See what the opportunities could be.
Yeah. And what we've found is underneath that wall, underneath those middle fingers, there is a desire that they don't love their situation. And if you can give room for them to express that and resolve that ambivalence that they have of the costs and the benefits of using drugs and alcohol, and be in a space of non-judgment, then usually that internal motivation will rise and surface. The action may not change, but that's the process, and it might take months, it might take days, it might take years, it might take a decade, and some people don't survive it. But
what kind of people do you give us a realm of the people that are? What is kind of addictions can they have in order to come into your facility? Drugs and alcohol, of course. What are some others that is that the main? Those are the main ones you work with, or is there? I mean, there's other addictions. So
great question. We are licensed as a behavioral health treatment center in the state of Idaho. Under that code, they must have a substance use disorder diagnosis. However, typically there is co-occurring disorders that are secondary or tertiary, and so we will address the co-occurring, especially in that first month. They meet with our psych team, and they get dialed in on medications and that sort of thing. And so we have to address those issues. And then along the way, as they deepen, we're big on emotional sobriety, not just getting clean, because they can get clean, go into detox. Mm-hmm. But then what? Yeah. If they're not emotionally sober and they don't have that meaning and purpose of sobriety, then it's our responsibility to help them access the tools. And these are ancient principles. It's not monopolized by addiction recovery. It's ancient principles about self-love and serving others and prayer and faith and experimenting with new thought patterns and being vulnerable, going in and really like bringing out all of that stuff that people have buried with cobwebs and mold down in there, and shining a light on that stuff and giving them a safe place to do that so that they can start to feel that sunlight of the spirit in their soul, and then the change of behavior comes as a result of that process rather than just like focusing on compliance. And we just want to see your actions. We don't really care how you feel or what you're thinking about it.
That's where the change happens, is when in the heart.
That's right.
So something near and dear to Brian's heart is triathlons. And so you're a triathlete. So what is your day-to-day, though? Because, man, when I saw you, I was like, man, look at this specimen. Yeah. I was like, if I was going to date men, which I'm happily married 30-plus years, I would come and talk to you. I'm just saying. So what is your day-to-day, though, to prepare for a triathlete?
Just did the St. George half Ironman, and the jealous because I've always wanted to do that. I've done a half Ironman, but not officially sanctioned one. But I'll tell you, it's a fun life, huh?
It is fun, and you know what? Anyone can do it.
Really?
And I say that because it's just like going on a 9-hour backpacking trip. Yeah. It's just slow, it's steady, there's 3 disciplines, but it's a mindset. It's much more mental than it is physical.
Yeah.
Leading up to, the real victory is all those mornings you wake up and you're like, I don't want to work. Yeah. I don't want to go on a ride.
Yeah.
But so it's something my little brother got me into, and it helps me because I have compulsive overeating. Yeah. If you would have seen me, I wish I would have sent you the picture of when I was almost 300 pounds, but I have struggled with sugar and flour addiction, and so that the triathlons help me just have something to work for.
Yeah.
So, constant goal, and that's a thing for me.
Yeah.
12 years ago, I couldn't swim the short end of the pool, let alone the long distance, and now we enjoy the I spent 45 minutes in the pool the other day and walked out not even winded, and it was just like, wow, this is awesome.
Right on.
And this is a great thing. So talk about this book. When did the book come out? And talk to us about the book Unhooked.
Unhooked, How to Help an Addicted Loved One Recover. Look, I can't think of anything more frustrating than trying to help an addicted loved one recover and watching them tear their life to shreds. I mean, seriously. One minute they mean business, and the next minute they are right back to their old addictive behaviors and poor decision-making patterns. And not only that, but they blame us or their family members in that process. But then, on the other hand, the addicted population are some of the most beautiful and sensitive and creative and amazing, artistic, compassionate individuals I've ever had the privilege of meeting. And when the addiction's not present.
Yeah.
And so how do you help someone? When my mom learned that her son was addicted to drugs and alcohol, she searched everywhere, high and low, trying to find ways to help me. And all she found were just a bunch of conflicting opinions on the internet and mediocre resources. Mm-hmm. And it didn't help her. And so this book was written for the mothers that are out there like my mother. And of course it applies to anyone who's trying to help an addicted loved one. But all she wanted to feel was some empowerment that she was doing the right thing. She just wanted to feel some hope instead of depression. Yeah. She wanted to feel some faith and peace instead of anxiety and fear. And I was gaslighting her and manipulating her, and my dad was pissed, my mom was enabling me, and between the two of them it was causing friction in their marriage. So it helps family members get off the beach, which is a metaphor that's used, and that is as if the tidal wave of the addiction is just constantly pounding over their heads from my behaviors out in the boat, dropping these rocks that the ripples grow into these tsunami-sized waves, and I don't have a care in the world. Yeah. But they're like, stop, Jason, stop.
Yeah.
And the whole process of getting off the beach, you don't have to stand there. Putting on emotional raincoats, learning how to dance, don't wrestle, rolling with resistance, strong fences make great neighbors, and going through all of those processes is really powerful. Using our story through the stages of change, so that they're empowered to take a particular approach in that stage of change, whether it's the not ready stage or getting ready stage or I'm ready stage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Well, I can tell you that I've had multiple phone calls this past week about people. One of them is dealing with an addicted family member, and another one just felt like they should read the book, and absolutely it changed their life as well. And I don't think that there's anybody in that family that's addicted, but I will tell you that this book, I look forward to it. I've made it so that I'm going to have some time this weekend, and I'm going to spend some time in this book. I've had the opportunity of working with people that have had many addictions, and employees and friends, and over the past 25 years, and I can tell you that I'm looking forward to sharing this book. We are going to give away a copy of this book, and we're going to give it away right at the end of the show. We're going to give away actually a couple books today. But we appreciate Jason's giving us a book here. We're gonna give away today, and we'll give away that right at the end of the show. A couple other questions, Jason, that I want to get to that we've gone a little bit over, but we're going to just go because I love this, absolutely love the topic. How has the COVID affected your business, and you've had to make a few pivots in that?
It's interesting. I was just watching a story on CNN, and the pundits and the reporters were talking about the issues of alcoholism and substance use caused by COVID, or the increase influenced by COVID. And what was fascinating is even they admitted that they were irresponsible in their consumption, that even they recognized that their dependence on alcohol and substances increased significantly to cope with isolation, to cope with stress of having kids at home, to cope with loss of this and that and the other, and friends and families struggling. And so it's no secret that it has breeded and fueled and really exacerbated the issue of dependency on substances. Now, that said, we have been blessed with telehealth and the payers in Idaho, and particularly Medicaid and the state. They have really been supportive of telehealth, and that wasn't and isn't our preferred delivery of treatment services, but hey.
But if necessary.
Oh man, we were able to help people that otherwise couldn't be helped, and so I'm so grateful for the service. I'm grateful to be in the solution each day, even though we have seen a huge, massive spike of problems.
Yeah, very good. When we have a guest on the show, we have them fill out a questionnaire, and what he put in one of these sections, I just wanted to kind of go through them because I think we have a lot of budding entrepreneurs that watch the show, and some of the advice that he gave to these people, I just want to kind of go through and feel free to add in. The book E-Myth, we've talked about it here on the show, E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. And if there's a book that we recommend as business consultants, that's one of our probably top ones, and it's affected your business as well.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, a great book. Another book, Traction, and we actually have one of our sponsors here, Andex, that is one of the books. He keeps a couple of them actually in on his desk. And it is an absolutely great. He gave me that book, and I've spent some time with that book, and absolutely a book that entrepreneurs should be reading. And another thing that Jason kind of talked about: establish a true leadership team and empower them to make decisions. And that's what you've done in your business, and I can see that that's a great key to your success. Relied on mentors. You talked about some of those, and that's a key thing that if entrepreneurs are watching this right now, rely on some mentors to help you out. And then the last one, prayer and meditation. Absolutely, in the work that you're in, absolutely, and I guess we're not here to plug that, but it absolutely can affect people's lives. So
yeah, on that last point, the prayer and meditation has been extremely powerful as an entrepreneur, because as a believer, I know that God is interested in blessing the flocks of our field, and to be providers, and so and to create jobs and stability for others, and so through that process, little strokes of intelligence, little personal insights and inspiration have come along the way that have been game-changing ideas, including books that have crossed my path, some mentioned, that were answers to that process of like, these are my problems, these are my issues, and I don't know how to solve them. And then out of the blue, someone's recommending, hey, read Enid.
Yeah.
Read Traction, follow it. And I've been following those books since 2014, and we have doubled, I mean, we 2x'd from 19 to 2020, and we're looking at growing another 50% this year. Wow. So it's pretty significant.
That's the kind of things that entrepreneurs and love to follow, those kind of tracks of tractions of growth. And so Jason, absolutely an inspiring guy, and thank you for being here today. Is there anything else that we've missed that you kind of wanted to hit about with Brickhouse Recovery? Anything else that we may have missed asking you?
You know, nothing that you've missed, but I would just put this out there to any entrepreneur or manager that is watching this, any influencer for that matter. Substance use disorder costs our country $700 billion a year in productivity costs, healthcare costs, and the like. And the reason why I bring that up is there are issues in your very organization, and some of them are masked. And you, as an influencer, can help create that initial space and environment where it's safe to come to you and approach you if your employees are having issues, because not only will it empower you to be in a position to help them and to get them in touch with some resources, but also it will put you in a position to have a lot more compassion, and your productivity goes up, and so your cost and waste of lack of productivity will it'll just improve overall your business, is really ultimately what I'm saying. So create that environment where it's safe. Talk about it, where it's safe for them to come talk to you, and let's help them. Let's help get them back on track and back in their families, and change the outcome.
It is a problem out there, and there's many people here throughout eastern Idaho that have that, and I encourage you to reach out to Brickhouse Recovery. Jason, at the end of the show, we like to talk about a quote that you have, and we kind of tell us about why you picked this quote.
They rise highest who lift as they go. So, in thinking about anyone who has started or is interested in starting a business, the approach is scary. There's some uncertainties. There's a lot of grind, and in that process, it can become quite myopic, and you can get focused on what I have to do and what I need and what the business needs, and because it's our survival, the loss of that threatens our very human instincts. And so it can be easy to forget about the people that are around you that are helping or have helped. And what I have learned is that when I get in that space, when I turn outward and I look at who's around me and who's helping me, I start to want to help others and start to look at how can I lift them? How can I make their lives easier and better? What are their gifts that I can help pour into and shine? And what I've found is that has taken not only a lot of the anxiety and uncertainty out of the process, but that actually has become my business. Yeah. It's not necessarily about the product and the service of making and driving revenue, although that you need blood in the body, as Gino Wickman talks about, but it's much more about creating an environment where we're like a laboratory to develop people and to lift them. And that has been the key to our success.
If you ever want to feel better about yourself, go out and serve someone else. And I think that's kind of what it's saying there. And so, Jason, inspiring. what an entrepreneur you are. You're a motivational speaker. You know, I don't think so far in the show we've gone 13 minutes over and just still felt really good about it. So
Sorry.
So we're good. This is absolutely a great topic that's dear to my heart as well. So thank you, and we encourage people, they can get this book on Amazon, right? Because it's a Amazon top seller.
It's on Amazon, and you can also get it on Audible if you're driving, if that's easier.
Yeah.
I'm an Audible listener, and I narrate it, and then it's available on our website too, brickhouserecovery.com.
Yep.
Right.
Very good. Well, we encourage you to stay here for just a minute. We're going to kind of end the show as we do with a training topic, and I gotta say that when I started dreaming about what we could talk about today, I had a book staring me in the face from my bookshelf, and it was Raving Fans. I'm not going to get into a lot about this booklet, but I can tell you that this book, Raving Fans, I'll put it right up here, is an absolutely phenomenal book that if you're an entrepreneur, this is a must read. And this book was so powerful for me when I had my large business that I actually went out and bought at least 25 copies of it and gave them to all my managers. And we had meetings and meetings and meetings. How could we create raving fans in our business? And here's the things that it talks about in the book. Number one, by the way, it's a really easy. It's one of the easiest. It's one chapter. Sorry, it's right there. One chapter, and it is it's written in a parable type deal, and it is the way I can say that it's probably the easiest book you could ever read out there. That is so inspirational. Number one, decide what your service vision is. Number two, discover what the customer wants. And then the last one, deliver what your customer wants. It plus 1%. That's the most important. Is that you get something extra there at the end. Ken Blanchard is he's written I think over 20 books, and so I have a copy of this book that we're going to give away today. It's an absolutely great book that is inspirational, but I want you to text me. Here's how you get a copy. And by the way, for the first person to text me their reason of, I don't want names or anything like that, but if you can text me a reason of someone that you think that the Unhooked book would do. So my cell phone number is down there, and the first person to text me with a reason why they would like to have the Unhooked book. Now, people may be watching this live, but if you're listening to it after the fact, don't think that it might be over. But Jason's actually given me 1 or 2 copies of this book that we're going to give away. And so if you have a reason that you would like the Unhooked book, text me the reason. Don't need names or anything like that. Just text me the reason. And the second of all, we're going to give away a copy of the Raving Fans. It's every entrepreneur should be reading this book. It's it changed my business that much. If you can tell me, the trivia question is, what is the Ken Blanchard book, his number one selling book, actually, I think, besides Raving Fans, is a book out there. It's even I think a little more simple book than this, and it deals with time. I'll give you a little hint. It's dealing with time. And management. There's two key things. But if you want to text me, the answers on there, we'll be sending out a copy of Raving Fans and Unhooked to those people who text my cell phone number right there. So, wow,
fantastic show!
Absolutely great show. Next week we have Marco with Sensor Medica.
Yep.
And he's going to be on the show. And then he's opening the restaurant, the Mama Flaws here, just a block away. And absolutely, he's a great entrepreneur. We're excited to have him on the show. We talked about last week that we had someone from Senator Rish's office that was going to be on, but they have moved we're going to move them into July. So we will still have Amy Taylor on here with Senator Rish's office. But thank you for tuning in to Talkin' Business. Thank you, Jason, for your inspiration and motivation, and I love the business that you're doing, and wish you the best of luck. Not only in your triathlons, I'll be chasing you in that for sure, but in your business as well. So,
all right, well, that's it.
Thank you, everybody, for Talkin' Business.
Thank you.
Good job.